be your message going into this weekend's game to your players?
Well, you've got to keep going. You owe it to the league to keep going anyway, which of course we will. We're not going to. We've put a lot of effort into this season, you know, us as a management team and the players. And you know, we've had to work very hard for every sort of one player, one member of staff we got here. Some of the other championship clubs have got many more sort of thing per job. But so we've had to put in a lot of work, and that's not going to stop now, because we've enjoyed that. We've certainly enjoyed our season. We've enjoyed pitting our wits against some top teams and teams that have been a lot higher than even the championship. And unfortunately we just come up a little bit short at the end of certain things. That I think one of the main things is, of course, we didn't have a squad big enough when we lost some of our players to put players of the same ability into the team. So that's probably that's been one of our problems. But you know, the lads have performed well in lots of games. So from what when I bump into our supporters, they've enjoyed the season. And that's good. It's, you know, it's like a big game every week, and now we've got to regroup. It's almost the start of a new campaign, really, and the boys have got to get another couple of chances to prove that they can handle the championship.
Yeah. Do you feel that you've maybe proved a lot of people wrong this season, given the position you're in going into the last two games, still mathematically not down?
Yeah, I don't think we had to prove anybody wrong or right, really. You know, we knew our plight. We knew the bookmakers made us favourites, and they're not to go down, and they're not normally wrong, and they haven't been wrong. But you know, everybody knows why we are where we are, and we mustn't feel sorry for ourselves. We've got to say we gave it a real good effort. It was unlucky on quite a few occasions not to pick up more points, but we've tried to play championship football, and we got there on occasions, and we certainly frightened a few of the big teams when they needed points, and they were all on long winning or non-losing runs. You know, we proved we could handle that. So you know, there's a lot of positives, but it'll only be really positive if we can make ourselves stronger that if we ever get the opportunity to come back, we know what it's all about and what's needed to survive it.
Yeah, and are there a lot of players that are playing for their futures at Yeovil Town?
Of course there are, yeah. That's the same at every club at the moment, you know, so it's no different here. Some have got the ability and haven't quite shown it consistently. Some haven't got the ability but have tried very hard. You know, obviously the more money you lay out for the top players, the all-round player that you end up getting. And you know, of course, in the Championship, those players are often ex-Premier League players that have played up at the highest level. And of course, you can see the difference between the players that consistently play at the top and middle of the Championship, and the ones that are at the maybe bottom of the Championship and First Division. There is a gap there.
And the experienced players like Jamie McAllister and James Hayter, how have you assessed them? Have they been key figures? Have you got out of them this season what you hoped you would?
Well, I'm sure we have, because you know, they're both mid-30s and they've both, you know, been used a lot in the Championship, and they've both played their part. You know, they've been good leaders by example as much as anything else. But they've both had a good season, and you know, it's good to have a couple of lads around that have been at this level, and they sort of help when they need to talk to the lads in their meetings, or when they're in the dressing room, or even just when they're having lunch together, sort of thing. You know, they're old heads that are very professional. The problem, you get a problem when you've got old heads that are not very professional, and they're the ones that you can't keep around for very long.
No, and do you think that they both have the potential to carry on playing? Are you maybe open to extending their deals, their stays at Yeovil?
Yeah, well, it's Macca had a word with you, isn't it? Come in and say so. We'll get this game out of the way, and because that's important that they focus on the games. We haven't yet, as a staff, sat down and worked out who'll be with us and who won't. There'll be some out of contract that we'd like to still be here. there's some in contract that we don't want to be here. So we're going to have to talk to them as well, because with those players, they're going to need to find a club over the summer, or they'll find themselves on contract here but not playing. So that's a difficult one. But anyway, I'm telling you how it is. But we haven't yet put those names in our list yet.
And Brighton, of course, they're going to need the points for different reasons, aren't they? Because they want to get them in the playoffs.
Massive game for them. If simple as if we win, they're out. They're out of the playoffs, aren't they? So it's a big one for them. It's they've had the biggest, highest average attendance, haven't they, at their ground, 30 odd thousand. So it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. It is a great stadium. It's a marvellous stadium. But we're there to do our job, and the professional job is we've got to do as best we can. But a good couple of games to finish, to see whether we've learnt anything from the last few weeks, whether when the pressure's off, whether players are a bit better when the pressure's off. But Brighton are going to have to come and put you under pressure, that's for sure, because they've got to win the game, and but they'll know we're not an easy team to turn over. No,
and in that terms, the pressure you would feel would pretty much all be on them, wouldn't it, going into this game?
Well, it is all on them, because for us, win, lose or draw, it's only our pride at stake, sort of thing. We think, unless Birmingham can lose 13 odd goals in 3 games, you know what I mean? You never know, and we score a few, but if we were scoring 5 every week, I'd feel that we had a bit of a chance, but we're not. And that's the level we're at, sort of thing. So we can go into it, we can enjoy it, our supporters that go there can enjoy it, and hopefully our players will show why they've been in the Championship for the season.
Yeah, and looking at Brighton, do you see them as a team that's worthy of being in the playoffs?
I think there's a few that are very close, around that area, like Ipswich's and Readings, of course. They've just gone, as we speak, into that 6th spot. Of course, Brighton. There was a few teams like Blackburn, that were good teams that are still all ex-Premiership teams that are trying to get that last spot. So, it's not. There's 2 games left, and they're all going to need to be right on form, and hope the opposition have an off day, because it's a massive prize. It'd be lovely if we had this game to pick up 70 million of getting into the Premiership. I could do a lot with that.
Good luck, Gary. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Can I ask you a couple of questions? What percentage of the squad that you have now do you hate to have next season?
Well, again, we haven't done that list. I can't give you an exact percentage, but of course there'll be a significant number that will go anyway, because they'll either be out of contract and going to pastures new. We're going back to the almost certainly back to the First Division, in which case you've got to rebuild anyway, because that's natural. So it's probably more than 50%. To give you a percentage, to answer your question as close as I can.
And do you think things will change in terms of the resources for the club in the coming years?
Well, I don't know. That's something that the club is, working very hard to do. It's not going as quick as we would all like. But we've had the feel for the Championship now, and everybody's enjoyed it. Would have been nice maybe to have got a few more through the gate at certain times, home supporters sort of thing. But the ones that did come, and the ones that did come away, were fantastically supportive, and have been supportive even now when they've enjoyed the season. Sometimes back in the First Division, when you're going to win more games than you're going to win in the Championship, so maybe that's what more people want. They want to see their team winning at the top of the league, even if it's a league lower. That's where we are.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Sorry, Gary. One of the questions I asked on Monday after the game was about speaking to the board and excuse me, about moving forward as well. Is that something that you will wait as well until after the game?
Yeah, I think the chairman and his board are very aware of what the club needs, and you know, it's, you know me, I'm not a shrinking violet. I'll tell them exactly what I think the club needs, and they've given what they've had, and you can only give what you got, you know. And if I thought there was some more out there that could have been given for whatever reason, then I would have asked. But we knew the situation, and everybody's, you know, given a lot of time and energy into supporting and motivating, if you like, the management and the players from boardroom level. So we appreciate that. But unless, you know, a big sugar daddy comes along, or, you know, there's a Russian suddenly bought a house over there and has got a few billions, then we can be very competitive. But look, we went to Blackburn. You know, all the clubs that we've been to, the magnificent stadiums that they've all got, and I know they're all big cities and that sort of thing. But all I ask for, and I answer the question the same, the club's just got to think bigger. It's got to be bigger if it wants to compete in the bigger leagues. You know what I mean? You know, with all due respect, we have still got a conference stadium. I love this place when it's full. You know what I mean? It's nice and tight, and we've had some, you know, great games here and great days and nights here. So it's not that, it's sort of homely, but it needs to be bigger. But then you need to have more people to fill the bigger stadium, sort of thing. So, you know, the whole place has got to think bigger. That's right, because we are, as a club, pulling rabbits out of the hat quite often at the moment, and for us to have got to the Championship was an unbelievable feat, and we all believe that. And what we hoped in our heart of hopes, that we would have enough luck and judgment to be able to have a couple of seasons in the Championship, but that wasn't the case. But that doesn't mean to say you start looking, you know, back, if you like, and go, oh well, that's done. You know, if we enjoyed it, we've got to try very hard to maintain and improve the resources for the off and on the pitch, on and off the pitch.
I know obviously as well that yourself and your management team have got a little bit of time to run on your current deals as well. Are you going to require reassurances from the board this summer as well, that, you know, that they're going to meet your expectations and your ambition?
Well, we're definitely going to be talking, you know, when the season's finished, because that's what you do as a management team and a board of directors, you know, and we're going to have to put the numbers to them that where we think that where we're going to need to go. You know, there's stuff off the pitch we can't do a lot about until we know what's going to happen. You know, we certainly, the club's going to need that's for sure, whatever happens. So that's a big decision in June. So we'll have to wait for that one.
Okay, and finally, without the risk of sounding like Steve Soden with endless questions, the links are already coming about, the reports of, you know, people like Leeds interested in Byron and Brighton even interested in people like Kiefer. You know, this time of year, it does get a bit like that. Does that make your job about, you know, trying to keep these lads any more difficult?
Well, not really, because if they're in contract, they're ours. So it's not difficult with somebody like Kiefer, for instance, because he's still got time on his contract. But obviously when they're over 24 and they're out of contract, there's nothing you can do about that. And so long as they're giving you performances out there, you know, playing for the green and white hoops, which people like Webby are, then that's all you can ask, because the nature of the game is, if somebody proves at a club like ours that they're Championship, there's a lot of other clubs in the Championship that can pay 5, 10, 20 times more than us. So of course people are going to look to that if that's the case. Where they have to be careful of is that there's a lot of scouts out there, many scouts, and some teams, who was we talking to the other day, we were talking to a certain club in the Championship that had 6 full-time scouts and 25 part-time scouts. So of course they're going to drop in the odd, we like him, you know. They wouldn't come to us for people that are out of contract, only the ones that are in contract. So there's going to be speculation about a few people. Now the problem is, if somebody sort of half promises you something and you've got that in your head and it doesn't happen, then it can be a bit dangerous for those players sometimes. So anyway, you know, when it's all done, we'll have another chat with them, and we'll see exactly where everybody stands, probably after this game.
Gary, looks like the number of points difference between us staying up and not staying up is going to be relatively small. Does that make it even more frustrating for you when you look at your DVD back to the Referees Association about all those dodgy decisions?
Oh well, yeah, that will be frustrating anyway, whether we had 10 points or 100 points. You know what I mean? Because that will be frustrating to us. But
you know, the margin's going to be so small. It looks like.
Yeah, the margin will be small, whatever happens now. Especially, you know, as we've said, the difference between the budgets is not what it looks like with the difference between the points, if you like. I don't know how some bloke could work it out, like, you know, where budget's the points, but you know, we've done all right on that. So what we got to believe is that I don't think many people thought we'd be around the 35, 40 points this season. You know, we've had to hang on in there. I think there's just over half of the games we haven't lost in. Now, you know, that's a fair for a club of our size getting into the Championship. Do you know the good thing as well? Whenever somebody like Yeovil does that, where it goes from the First Division to the Championship, it gives all the other little clubs hope that, you know, and that belief that, well, maybe they could do it, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So that's always good, and you know, we got to be proud of what the club's done, but then, you know, see now where we go from here and what happens from here. But you've had your fun, and football's a little bit roller coastery, isn't it? It goes. Look at Brentford last year. You know, you saw them crying on the pitch at Wembley, and we were all happy, and now they're promoted, and we're probably relegated. You know what I mean? So that's how the game goes. So you mustn't get too upset with everything like that. You've got to say, well done to the winners, commiserate with the losers, but the losers have to keep it going. It has to show a commitment to the future of being as high as it can, as big as it can.
What's worse, losing a Championship playoff final or being relegated from the Championship?
Well, listen, if you have your time again, there's no way you'd give up our day at Wembley, is there? Do you know what I mean? And getting into the Championship, I said, was our premiership. We knew that was going to be the case. And we've had that season. I think our club, our town, players, management, board of directors have all gained the reputation of, like, great little old Yeovil, give it a right go. They've not been overawed. They've not been well beat every game. You know, I think our club and town's reputation has been held firm. You know, we're not in administration. You know, there's all lots of things that other clubs are having. You know, with tennis balls and tangerines being thrown around and things. And, you know, I don't think any shops are open around here, are they, for tangerines and tennis balls? Wait till we get the store up here, then we'll sell tangerines and tennis balls. So that's how I see it, really, Steve. You know, and I wouldn't. There's no way I'd have given up what happened last year for whatever it was you said was the alternative. What was it?
I meant like as obviously you the disappointing at Bristol City of losing the Championship playoff.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That must have been dreadful.
Yeah.
Is it the same as being relegated from the Championship?
I think that was a different kettle of fish. I think that one, you know, you're a game away from the Premiership, and once you get that 70 million, then you can compete with the big boys. If you go from the First Division to the Championship via the playoffs, you get 2 million more. I think it was. You get 2 million, and then you get 4 million in the Championship. Well, that's not enough really to compete, if you like, with the big boys. So I was gutted by not getting there with Bristol City because we were so close to that. I'm still gutted because it's still pride and that, and you've still, you know, gone down. But I'm actually still very pleased that we've had that opportunity that Yeovil Town Football Club may never have had. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've had it. Do you know what I mean? Now, if we never get it again, then it's been there, it's in the history books, etc., etc. But the club mustn't stop striving to get back there.
Do you feel it's unfinished business? Like you want to come back in and have another go?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what you want to do. But you know, it's one of those things. I mean, there's a lot of clubs that are, you know, when they go up, they're going to be fined, aren't they, for the fair play situation. Now, you know, maybe they should be giving their fines to the people that they beat through overspending. But I think it goes to charity. There's teams that have to decide whether they go into administration or not. Do you know what I mean? So that won't happen now, so that won't help us out because they had a certain date for that. But so, you know, we've run our business prudently and we've competed. So in that way we can, you know, say it's been a good season.
It does feel strange because I look back and think it's been Yeovil's best season in a way.
Yeah.
Even though we're at the bottom of the league.
Yeah, I know. Well, we've played some good football. I think we have competed with some of the best teams. I know. Sometimes we've been poor. I admit that as well. But sometimes the lads have generally been right up for it. It's, you know, with all due respect to the lads, there's just a great deal of quality out there that people pay a lot of money for, and when you get that as a squad, that becomes very strong. We couldn't get that as a squad, that quality in numbers, if you like.
Is that the bottom line? Do you think
that's exactly what it is? Yeah.
I must admit, I was 19 years ago when Yeovil last relegated from conference to the ISIS League.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was gutted.
Yeah.
I'm not already looking forward to next season.
Yeah, well,
So bring it on.
that's good. I mean, we're pleased that people think that, but you know, you've got to be competitive now in Division 1, and that means the club's got to be bigger.
That's it, thank you.
Just one final one for me. Are you likely to be putting your CV up to
Man United.
Man United?
Yeah. Are you still on? He kept it on just in case.
Oh, right, okay.
Not big enough club.
What did you think of the situation? Did you feel sorry for David Moyes? Do you think?
Yeah, I think you've got to feel sorry for him. Yeah, I mean, when a manager's been somewhere for so long, like Alex Ferguson, then the players get used to him. They get used to his rants, his raves, his philosophies, and then, you know, when somebody comes in new, because some of them Man United lads have been there a long time as kids, haven't they? Mm-hmm. And then somebody comes in and he's got a new, different way about him, he's different staff. You know, maybe he should have kept some of the older staff to keep the continuity, but anyway, he wanted to bring his own staff in. So, yeah, I feel sorry for him, but you're so much in the limelight in the Premiership that everything that you do is scrutinised. And nowadays it's not just by the supporters, but it's by your ex-players, the ex-players of that football club. You know, and they scrutinise every little move and corner, and, you know, why has he done that, why has he done that? And so if it's not going well, there's nowhere to hide. And I think that's what's happening. And then it's all built up, and then the press get onto it, etc., etc. And he's a decent fella, David Moyes, and he'd be gutted pride-wise, but you know, he'll certainly be able to buy a big boat in the south of France somewhere, that's for sure.
But do you think it was an impossible job for him to come into?
I don't know, it was a great job when he joined it, and anybody would take it, do you know what I mean? So I don't feel I've got to send my CV in, they should know about me already.